Letters to Eleanor by yours truly. My dearest Eleanor, I hope this letter finds you well, for I find it is only the thought of your beauty and good humours that give me strength to carry on. The horrors I've witnessed on this journey with the army to the dark heart of Africa are beyond human comprehension. As I put pen to paper under the dim glow of a flickering lantern, I shudder at the memories that haunt my every waking moment. Our voyage across treacherous seas was merely a prelude to terrors that awaited us on this forsaken continent. The jungle, dense and suffocating, seemed to close in around us like a living, breathing entity, watching our every move with malevolent intent. The native tribes we encountered spoke in ancient and unspeakable evils that lurked deep within these uncharted lands. The nights are the worst, Eleanor. The eerie cries of unseen creatures pierce the darkness, and strange shadows dance on the edge of our campfires. The men whisper of apparitions that haunt their dreams, of eyes that gleam in the inky blackness, and of something unspeakable that slithers and skulks in the underbrush. I long for the safety of your embrace, my love, for I fear that the horrors of Africa may consume me whole. Pray for my return, if there is a shred of hope left in this god-forsaken place. Yours in desperation, Captain Lieutenant A. Ivoriroqque. My dearest Eleanor, the situation here in this forsaken jungle has taken a turn for the worst, and I must recount the strange happenings that have plagued our camp. Each day feels like an eternity, and the nights are filled with unspeakable horrors. It began with whispers amongst the men, hushed conversations about eerie occurrences during the night watch. Shadows moved where they shouldn't, and eerie laughter echoed through the darkness. Some claimed to have seen figures lurking just beyond the edge of our campfires, figures that vanished as quickly as they appeared. Last night, things took a darker turn. A sentry, a stout-hearted fellow named Thomas, swore he heard the cries of a child coming from the depths of the jungle. Against all reason, he ventured out alone, carrying only a lantern and his rifle. We waited in agonising silence, and as the minutes stretched into hours, our anxiety grew. Finally, Thomas returned, his face as pale as a ghost. He spoke of a ghostly child who led him deeper into the jungle, a child whose voice had a strange, otherworldly quality. He claimed the child vanished before his eyes, leaving him lost and disoriented in the pitch-black darkness. He swore he heard whispers all around him, as if the very trees and leaves were conspiring against him. Eleanor, I cannot bear the weight of this fear much longer. The men are on edge, and superstitions run rampant. Some speak of curses upon this land, others of vengeful spirits awakened by our intrusion. I fear that whatever malevolent force dwells in these depths is closing in on us, and I do not know how much longer we can endure. Pray for my safety, my love, for it seems we have ventured into a realm of nightmares, from which there may be no escape. Yours, trembling with dread, Captain Lieutenant A. Ivoriroqque. My dearest Eleanor, the night after I wrote my last letter, the unthinkable occurred. Thomas, the brave sentry who had ventured into the jungle, was gone missing. The camp awoke to a chilling discovery as the first light of dawn broke through the thick canopy of trees. His tent lay in disarray, as if he had fled in the midst of some unseen terror. His rifle, lantern, and belongings were scattered about, and the air was heavy with an eerie silence that sent shivers down our spines. We searched the immediate vicinity, calling his name in vain, but there was no sign of him. We questioned the men who had been on night watch with Thomas, but they could offer no explanation. They claimed that one moment he was there, and the next, he was gone, as if swallowed by the very darkness he had ventured into. Eleanor, a sense of dread has settled over our camp like a thick fog. Some say that Thomas has fallen victim to the malevolent forces that haunt this place, while others whisper of his descent into madness. Driven insane by strange voices and apparitions that plague our nights. I can hardly bear to imagine what horrors he must have encountered. We have decided to conduct a more thorough search for him, but with each passing hour, hope diminishes. The jungle seems to conspire against us, its depths concealing secrets too terrible to fathom. Pray for us, my love, for I fear that we are trapped, and this nightmare is one from which there may be no awakening. Yours with a heavy heart, Captain Lieutenant A. Ivoriroqque. My dearest Eleanor, I write to you now with a heart heavy as lead, for the mystery surrounding Thomas has deepened in ways I can scarcely put into words. We resumed our search for him, determined to leave no stone unturned in the relentless pursuit of our comrade. What we discovered defies all reason. Deep within the impenetrable jungle, we stumbled upon a scene straight from the darkest of nightmares. There, beneath the twisted boughs of ancient trees, we found Thomas. He was kneeling, frozen in place as if turned to stone, his eyes wide with terror. But the most harrowing detail was that he was utterly deaf, unresponsive to our calls or touch. There were no visible wounds, no signs of struggle, and yet he appeared as if he had aged years in mere days. His hair had turned white as snow, and lines of agony marred his once youthful face. He clutched at his ears, as if trying to block out some hideous sound that only he could hear. Eleanor, it was a sight that shook even the most stalwart of men to their core. We carried him back to camp, but he remained in a state of catatonic horror, muttering incoherently and seemingly oblivious to his surroundings. We cannot fathom what he experienced during his time lost in the heart of this accursed wilderness. The atmosphere in our camp has grown even more oppressive, and fear has taken hold of us like a vice. The jungle continues to whisper its secrets, and we are but pawns in a malevolent game that we do not understand. We are trapped, my love, and it seems that each passing day brings us closer to a fate we dare not contemplate. Pray for us, Eleanor, as we face forces beyond our comprehension. Yours in despair, Captain Lieutenant A. Ivoriroqque. My dearest Eleanor, it is with a heavy heart that I must inform you of the tragic turn that has befallen our camp. Thomas, our valiant comrade who endured unspeakable horrors, has passed from this world. His tormented spirit is now at rest, but the circumstances surrounding his death are as perplexing as the events leading up to it. For days, Thomas remained in his near catatonic state, his eyes haunted by the horrors he had witnessed, and his ears deaf to the world around him. We did our best to care for him, offering what comfort we could, though it seemed that his soul had already departed, leaving only a shell behind. Then, last night, as the moon cast its pallid light upon our beleaguered camp, Thomas drew his final breath. He passed peacefully in his sleep, and for the first time in weeks, a semblance of serenity graced his features. It was as if he had found solace in some ethereal realm beyond our understanding. Eleanor, his death has left us all with a sense of profound sorrow and loss, yet also with a lingering dread. What could have driven a man to such a state of despair that even in death his torment appeared to be lifted? I fear that the secrets of this cursed land are darker and more insidious than we can comprehend. As I write this, the jungle continues to close in around us, and the strange occurrences persist. We are a broken and beleaguered company, clinging to our dwindling hope as we navigate this living nightmare. Pray for us, my love, for we are prisoners of forces that defy explanation, and I fear that we may never escape the clutches of this accursed place. Yours in mourning, Captain Lieutenant A. Ivoriroqque. My dearest Eleanor, in the midst of our despair, a glimmer of respite has pierced the darkness that envelops us. It is with a cautious optimism that I share this news with you, for it feels like the first rays of dawn after a long and harrowing night. During the day, the camp has taken to an air of normalcy, as if the terrors of the night are but distant memories. The men go about their duties with renewed determination, and a sense of camaraderie has returned to our ranks. We have even managed to establish friendly relations with some of the local tribes, who have proven invaluable in guiding us through this bewildering jungle. But it is the nights, my love, that hold the most surprising change. The once terrifying nocturnal occurrences have gradually diminished in intensity. The eerie voices that once plagued our dreams have grown faint, and the shadows that danced malevolently at the edge of our campfires have receded. It is as if the jungle itself has relented, granting us brief respite from its malevolent grip. Even Thomas, in death, seems to have found peace, and his passing no longer casts a pall of dread over us. Though I dare not become complacent, this newfound tranquility has given us a glimmer of hope. We have taken to keeping watch in shifts, though now it is more to protect ourselves from the natural dangers of the jungle, rather than the supernatural ones that once haunted our nights. Eleanor, I can only pray that this fragile peace endures, and that we might find a way to leave this cursed place behind us. We yearn for the day when we can return to civilization and leave behind the horrors of Africa. Yours, with a flicker of hope. Captain Lieutenant A. Ivoriroqque. My dearest Eleanor, as the days have grown more bearable, I have been seized by a newfound curiosity, a gnawing need to uncover the mysteries that have plagued our expedition. It was this relentless desire that led me to venture deep into the jungle, accompanied by one of the local tribesmen named Maconie. He was hesitant at first, speaking in hushed tones of places that his people dared not tread, but eventually he agreed to be my guide. Our journey through the dense, emerald-hued foliage was both awe-inspiring and treacherous. Maconie, a skilled woodsman, moved with an uncanny grace through the labyrinth of trees and vines. After hours of navigating this primordial wilderness, we came upon an eerie clearing that sent shivers down my spine. In the centre of the clearing stood a structure unlike any I had ever seen. It was constructed of massive stones, their surfaces carved with intricate, otherworldly symbols that seemed to pulse with an ethereal glow. The air around this enigmatic monument was charged with an eerie energy that made the hairs on my neck stand on end. Maconie, his face a deep mask of concern, urged me not to approach any closer. He spoke in urgent tones, warning of dire consequences should I touch or step into the area surrounding the structure. His people, he explained, believed it to be a place of great power, but also great danger, a realm inhabited by malevolent spirits that would claim the unwary. I was torn, Eleanor, torn between my insatiable curiosity and the ominous warnings of Maconie. In the end, I heeded his advice and dared not approach the eerie monument. We retraced our steps back to camp, my mind filled with questions and a growing unease. What secrets does this place hold, my love? What forces lurk within the heart of this jungle? And how are they connected to the horrors that have plagued our expedition? I fear that the answers lie within the enigmatic clearing, and I am torn between the desire to uncover the truth and the need to protect what little semblance of safety we have found. Yours, with a heart heavy with mystery, Captain Lieutenant A. Ivoriroqque. My dearest Eleanor, as the days have passed since my unsettling encounter with the enigmatic monument, a tense calm has settled over our camp. The strange occurrences of the past have abated, and some among us have begun to hope that our ordeal may soon be at an end. But the jungle, it seems, has not yet released its grip on our collective psyche. Last night, as we gathered around our campfire, the air grew thick with unease. The men's laughter and camaraderie had returned during the day, but as the sun dipped below the horizon, a haunting sound pierced the night, a sound that sent a chill down our spines. It was the unmistakable cry of a child, faint and forlorn, echoing from the depths of the jungle. The men exchanged nervous glances, for there were no children among our ranks, nor had we encountered any in these untamed lands. We strained to listen, hoping to discern the source of the eerie lament. Macaulay, our steadfast guide, sat among us, his eyes wide with fear. He recognised the sound all too well, a sound he had warned us about. With trembling hands, he recounted the legends of his people. Tales of malicious spirits that took on the guise of lost children to lure unwary souls into the darkness. The cries persisted, growing louder and more plaintive, as if drawing closer to our camp. Some of the men, their faces etched with terror, rose to their feet, clutching their rifles tightly. Others, unable to bear the haunting sound any longer, begged me to order retreat from this cursed place. Eleanor, in that moment I faced a terrible choice. The allure of uncovering the secrets of this land warred with the instinct for self-preservation. With a heavy heart, I gave the order to break camp and retreat, for I could not ignore the fear that clung to us like a shadow. As we hurriedly packed our meagre belongings, the cries of the phantom child grew ever closer, a haunting reminder that the jungle still had us in its grip. We retreated into the darkness, leaving behind the mysteries that taunted us, and fled from the ghastly wails that pursued our every step. Pray for us, my love, for the night holds secrets that may remain forever hidden in the heart of Africa. Yours in uncertainty, Captain Lieutenant A. Ivoriroqque. My dearest Eleanor, we retreated from our ill-fated camp, driven by the spectral cries of the phantom child echoing through the jungle. As we ventured deeper into the wilderness, the men's resolve wavered, and a cloud of apprehension hung over us like a shroud. It was then that we stumbled upon a new clearing, one touched by the malevolent forces that had plagued us. With the jungle looming around us, we hastily set up a new campsite, choosing to keep watch in shifts as we had before. The night descended with an eerie stillness, a stark contrast to the ominous symphony of our previous encampment. As we sat around the campfire, our senses heightened by the uncertainty that had become our constant companion, a sound emerged from the depths of the woods, a sound that chilled us to the bone. It was a voice, barely more than a whisper, beseeching us for help. We exchanged wary glances, unsure whether to heed this mysterious plea. The voice was ethereal, disembodied, and carried with it an undeniable air of sorrow and desperation. Against our better judgment, a few of us, led by Macaulay, ventured cautiously into the shadowy recesses of the jungle, following the haunting sound. There, amidst the gnarled roots of ancient trees and the tangle of the underbrush, we found her. A woman, dishevelled and clad in tattered clothing. She was huddled on the forest floor, her eyes wide with fear, and her voice trembled as she spoke of being lost in this accursed jungle. Eleanor, The sight of her filled us with a mixture of compassion and unease. Her arrival was a riddle wrapped in an enigma. A lone soul, seemingly touched by the horrors that had haunted us. We offered her food, water and shelter, though the men remained wary of her presence. As the night wore on, the woman spoke of a darkness that had pursued her, of voices that whispered unspeakable things in the heart of the jungle. Her story mirrored her own experiences, and her arrival seemed like a cruel twist of fate. Yet, there was something about her, a mysterious aura that left us with more questions than answers. Eleanor, this woman's presence in our camp has cast a new shroud of uncertainty over us. Is she a harbinger of future horrors? Or could she hold the key to unravelling the mysteries of this cursed land? We can only wait and watch, for the night is long and the jungle conceals its secrets well. Yours, in a state of wary anticipation, Captain Lieutenant A. Ivoriroqque. My dearest Eleanor, the arrival of the mysterious woman, whose name she revealed to be Amina, has brought an unsettling change to our camp. Her presence, while seemingly benign, continues to perplex and disturb us in equal measure. As the days have passed, her tales of the jungle's malevolence have grown more troubling. Amina speaks of an ancient and vengeful spirit that roams the depths of the jungle, a spirit she claims to have encountered during her solitary journey. She describes it as a shadowy figure, neither man nor beast, whose whispers hold the secrets of unspeakable horrors. According to her, this entity seeks to devour the souls of those who dare to tread upon its domain. The men, already burdened by the traumas of our journey, listen to her with a mixture of fascination and dread. Some believe her stories to be the ravings of a mind driven to madness by the jungle's malevolent influence, while others find themselves captivated by the eerie parallels between her experiences and our own. Eleanor, I am torn between skepticism and an inexplicable sense that Amina holds the key to understanding the mysteries that surround us. I have come to regard her as both a potential ally and a harbinger of new dangers. Our camp, once a bastion of camaraderie, has fractured into factions of belief and doubt. As we navigate this treacherous landscape, one thing remains clear. The jungle's grip on our souls has not loosened. We are yet trapped in a relentless nightmare, and the path to escape remains elusive. Pray for us, my love, for each day it brings us closer to the heart of darkness that lies hidden within these ancient woods. Yours, in turmoil and uncertainty, Captain Lieutenant A. Ivoriroqque. My dearest Eleanor, the days and nights blur together as we grapple with the enigma of Amina and the unrelenting grip of this haunted jungle. Our camp is now divided. Those who believe her tales, and those who dismiss them as the ramblings of a troubled mind. Amina's influence over those who listen to her is undeniable. Her words have sown seeds of doubt and fear among the men, leading some to question their own sanity. She has become a spectral presence, haunting our camp with her stories of the vengeful spirit and the horrors that await those who dare to defy it. I, too, have found myself drawn into Amina's unsettling narrative. Her descriptions of the jungle's malevolence resonate with the terrors that we too have faced. The cries of the phantom child, the eerie monument, and Thomas's inexplicable affliction all seem to converge around this elusive spirit. I cannot help but wonder if she possesses a deeper understanding of the darkness that surrounds us. Eleanor, the jungle's grip tightens with each passing day, and our situation grows ever more dire. It is as if the jungle itself conspires against us, closing in around our fragile camp. The atmosphere is charged with an unnatural energy, and the once clear boundaries between reality and nightmare have blurred beyond recognition. We remain trapped in the shadowy realm, uncertain of the path forward, haunted by the unanswered questions that torment us. As I write these words, the voices of doubt and fear grow louder, drowning out the flickering embers of hope that still burn within us. My love, pray for us, for we are ensnared in a web of mysteries and malevolence that may well consume us all. Yours, in a harrowing state of uncertainty, Captain Lieutenant A. Ivoriroqque. My dearest Eleanor, desperation has driven me to make a decision that I pray is not our undoing. The mysteries of this cursed land have festered long enough, and I have resolved to lead an expedition back to the enigmatic monument deep within the jungle. Amina, with her eerie knowledge, has offered to guide us, and a group of men who share my determination have volunteered to accompany us into the heart of darkness. The camp was divided by my decision, but those who are willing to seek answers have rallied behind me. We carry with us lanterns, provisions, and a sense of grim purpose as we retrace our steps into the depths of the jungle. The air is thick with trepidation, for we know not what awaits us at that mysterious clearing. As we journey deeper into the wilderness, Amina's presence is an unsettling one. Her stories continue to cast doubt upon our senses, and her demeanour remains an enigma. She leads us through the labyrinthine pathways with an uncanny familiarity, as though she herself is guided by forces beyond our understanding. Eleanor, the clearing comes into view as we draw nearer, and the sight of that eerie monument bathed in moonlight sends shivers down our spines. It stands as a sentinel, a silent witness to the horrors that have unfolded within these ancient woods. We approach with caution, our lanterns illuminating the grotesque symbols carved onto the stone. Symbols that seem to writhe and pulse with a life of their own. Amina insists that the answers to our plight lie within, that the malevolent spirit's power is tethered to this very place. With trembling hands we edge closer, our hearts pounding with anticipation and dread. The air grows heavy with an unnatural stillness, and a palpable sense of foreboding envelops us. We stand at the precipice of a revelation, and I can only pray that the truth will set us free from the horrors that have consumed us. Pray, love, for we have ventured into the heart of the unknown, and there is no turning back. Yours, in grim determination, Captain Lieutenant A. Ivoriroqque. My dearest Eleanor, the night we returned to the accursed clearing, the darkness unleashed its full fury upon us. As we approached the ominous monument, a chilling wind swept through the trees, extinguishing our lanterns and plunging us into an abyss of shadow. In the pitch-black darkness, panic set in. The men cried out in terror as they were enveloped by an unseen force. It was then that I realised, with sinking heart, that they were afflicted by the same horrifying affliction that had befallen Thomas. Their ears were filled with unearthly whispers, their eyes wide with maddening dread. Amidst the chaos, Amina's eerie laughter rang out like a haunting melody. She stood near to the monument, her form illuminated by an eldritch glow. Her laughter, once a source of unease, now sounded unhinged and malevolent. I knew then that Amina was no innocent victim, but a malevolent farce in her own right, a puppeteer manipulating her fates. In a desperate bid to escape her clutches, I lunged forward, pushing my way through the tangled vines and into the underbrush. As I fled through the jungle, a cacophony of voices and the piteous cries of my stricken comrades echoed behind me. The jungle, alive with sinister energy, seemed to twist and contort, blocking my path and disorienting my senses. For hours, I stumbled through the nightmarish labyrinth, haunted by the knowledge that I had left my men to a fate worse than death. Amina's presence lingered like a malevolent shadow, and I could feel her influence pulling at the fringes of my sanity. Eleanor, I write to you now from a place of solitude, my mind gripped by the torment of what I have witnessed. I know not if the jungle had released its hold on the others, but I cannot return to that accursed clearing, nor can I trust Amina's words or intentions. I am alone, adrift in a realm of despair and darkness, surrounded by the mysteries that continue to elude my understanding. Pray for my survival, my love, and for the redemption of the souls we left behind. Yours in harrowing isolation, Captain Lieutenant A. Ivoriroqque. My dearest Eleanor, this may be my final letter to you, and I fear that it may never find its way into your hands. I write these words in haste, for I know that Amina is hunting me down, and my time grows perilously short. In the days that have passed since my harrowing escape from the clearing, I have been plagued by visions and whispers that assail my sanity. Amina's laughter haunts my every waking moment, a chilling reminder of the malevolent force that pursues me through this unforgiving jungle. I am certain that she seeks to draw me back to that cursed monument, to bind me to the same dreadful fate that befell my comrades. Her laughter echoes in the shadows, and her presence is an ever-present spectre, lurking just beyond the periphery of my vision. Eleanor, I am filled with regret and despair. Regret for leading my men into this nightmare, and despair for the torment that awaits me, should Amina succeed in her malevolent pursuit. I know not if I will emerge from this ordeal with my sanity intact, if I emerge at all. As I pen these words, I can hear her whispers growing louder, drawing me inexorably closer to the clearing. The jungle itself seems to conspire against me, closing in around me with sinister intent. If this letter reaches you, know that my love for you remains undying, a flicker of light in this endless darkness. If it does not, then let my memory be a testament to the horrors that lurk in the heart of this forsaken land. Pray for me, my love, and pray for the souls of the lost. I shall fight to the last, but the shadows grow stronger with each passing moment, and I fear that I may soon become one of them. Yours, in the grip of unspeakable dread, Algernon.